Good evening all, my name is Daniel and welcome to StreetMic, and we're coming to you live and direct from the Barbados High Commission in London, where the new President of Barbados, Dame Sandra Mason, is due to arrive in a few moments, and we are currently awaiting the arrival of the new President of Barbados, Dame Sandra Mason. We are currently awaiting the arrival of the new President of Barbados, Dame Sandra Mason. And in a few moments we will be hearing the national anthem of Barbados, and that is when the new presidents will be arriving. For all of you who are now joining us on social media, on YouTube and also on Facebook, I would like to thank you very much for watching StreetMic, and we are currently at the Barbados High Commission in Tottenham Court Road, where we are waiting the arrival of the new President of Barbados, Dame Sandra Mason. And StreetMic will get the opportunity to engage with the new President of Barbados. And many of you may not know that I am from Barbados. I was born in Baycroft Road in Carrington's Village, and it's a privilege to be live streaming this event on behalf of the High Commission and also for my country. So we are waiting the arrival of the new President of Barbados, Dame Sandra Mason.
You know, we'll see. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Let me apologize for the tardiness in the start of this evening's program. We are still awaiting the arrival of the President. She's held up in traffic. So as soon as that is resolved, we will begin. So please do accept our apology. Please do accept our apology. Make me feel like you're sorry, you know?
Good evening all, my name is Wendell Daniel and welcome to StreetMic. And today we are coming to you live and direct from the beautiful building here in Tottenham Court Road. And this is the High Commission for a beautiful country called Barbados. And we are currently awaiting the arrival of the new president for Barbados, and we've been told that she has been delayed in traffic, but it is going to be a very interesting book launch today. And the reason this all came about was because I attended an event recently, and then I was asked if I would live stream an event for the Barbados Nurses Association, and I did that. And that went really well, and unbeknown to me, the High Commissioner was going to be there. And I gave the High Commission my card. And from that, they looked at the live stream I had done, and people were so happy with how clear it was and the crystal clear sound. And I was asked, would I come and live stream this event today? And I happily agreed to do so, but unbeknown to me, the new president of Barbados was going to be here, and it is going to be a book signing. And after the book signing, I will have the opportunity to have a conversation with the president and ask her a few questions. But please remember, this is the president of Barbados, the new president, and I won't be asking any political questions. So, that's one great thing I will be doing later on, but we are just awaiting her arrival in a few moments' time. And when she does, that is going to be great. And for me, this is a very special occasion because those of you who know me will know I'm from Beercroft Road in Carrington Village, which is in Barbados, in St. Michael. So I see what I'm doing here today as something very important, and it's a gift to my country. So I'm doing this for my country back home. I'm British, but I was born in Barbados, and it is such a pleasure to be at the High Commission today, live streaming this event on behalf of the High Commission of Barbados here in London. So in a few moments, I want to engage with people, want to ask them questions, want to find out what it's all about. But I won't be doing that yet. We will wait the arrival of the President. But tomorrow is going to be a very special day here in London, in England. As you know, it's the Queen's Jubilee, Queen Elizabeth II, and there's going to be a lot of activities taking place in London. And I will also be on the streets of London doing what I do best, down by Buckingham Palace. So that's enough for me for a moment. But if you like this, give me a thumbs up, make your comments down below, share and follow. But what you must also do is switch on your notification bell, and every time we go live, you will be informed. So switch on the bell on Facebook, switch on the bell on YouTube, and StreetMic LiveStream, and every time we go live, you will be informed. So let's see what's going on here at the High Commission in London. Huh? I've got 4. They're the bigger version. what I'm now going to do is engage with an interview with a young lady by the name of Movelle. If you go around there, my dear, or you can stand there. So if you stand there with the Barbados, so if you stand there, yeah, that's beautiful. So if you look into the camera, yes, beautiful, that's beautiful. So if you look into the camera as normal. So good afternoon. What is your name?
My name is Movelle Jordan.
So Movelle Jordan, tell me more about why you are at the Barbados High Commission on such a beautiful sunny day.
I'm here because the invitation from the British High Commission to launch 2 books which I have written last year. So I'm here to promote the books and to share in the culture. One of the books is discussing the culture, how we were brought up, and I think everyone is dying to hear and to see the book. So I'm here to share this special moment with my fellow Barbadians and West Indians.
How great was it for you to receive that invitation to come over to promote your book?
I felt on top of the world. It was unbelievable. It's part of my dream coming true. I never envisioned seeing me in a setting such as this, but dreams do come true.
And it's so great to hear you say that, because for me also, it's a dream come through for you making contact with me and being asked to do this live stream today. And all I can say is thank you very much for inviting me. And can you just describe to those watching how excited you are about today?
I am very, very excited. And I can't believe it when I look in this room. It's so many Philippines. And I'm getting goose pimples just looking at my people being here to see me, a little girl from Marleyville. I'm really excited.
So you're a little girl from Marleyville, and I'm a little boy from Beercroft Road in Carrington's Village, St. Michael. But tell me, final question. I sent you a link to a documentary film I made in Barbados called Village Life and Friendship in Carrington's Village. Have you had the opportunity to just have a little look?
I did, but I didn't finish watch it, because things like that I really like to absorb and really take it in. And I was kind of busy preparing for this momentous occasion.
And it is, but I know you have watched some of it, and I look forward to receiving your feedback for the next documentary film I'm going to make in Barbados. How's that? We can make it together.
Of course, you will, and I would certainly give you a feedback.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We're currently awaiting the arrival of the President. She's running a bit late, but there's traffic here in London, so I'm just making the best use of the time. So is there anyone else you reckon I can interview? If not, I'll just go and drag them up here.
There are quite a few.
So you know the crowd.
Quite a few Barbadians here who you can interview. Some of them are doing quite well here in London. You can interview Tamara and Shaquille.
Right. So if you call Tamara and Shaquille.
And Tamara.
See, what I'm doing, I'm making...
Tamara would tell you about herself, and Shaquille will tell you about himself.
Excellent. Thank you very much for inviting these 2 beautiful Bajans. Good afternoon. I'm Wendell Daniel from StreetMic. Can you just introduce yourself? Because what I'm doing now, I'm making best use of time.
Oh, okay.
So, who are you?
So my name is Tamara, and I'm Movelle's daughter-in-law.
So tell me more about being here today at the High Commission for such a prestigious event.
Well, I'm very proud to be here. I'm very proud of Movelle and what she's accomplished. For years now, I've heard her talking about how she wanted to put her story down, and I've known her now for over 25 years, and she always has a story to tell. So it's really good that she's got the chance to put it down on paper. So I think people will really enjoy reading the books. If you know Movelle, you read it and you can hear her telling the stories.
And what is it about the book that really stood out for you?
So she wrote 2 books. One is her story, and one is fiction. I knew a few of the stories in her book from her past and her stories, so I kind of knew that. But Them Come a Calling, the fiction, it is a laugh a minute, basically a laugh every page. So I couldn't stop laughing when I was reading it.
And I look forward to reading it. And you, sir, tell me more about what has stood out for you with these great books.
Well, for me, it's just the opportunity to see Bajan culture once again crystallize into writing. And anytime such an opportunity arises to do so, it's always something to celebrate.
But will you be following suit like Movelle and doing something similar yourself?
No, I am not an author by profession.
I'm not going to let you get away with that, but yeah, I love Barbados. I'm from Carrington's Village. I'm from Bearcroft Road. You know Bearcroft Road, just off Tweeside Road? Yes. Down by Freddy's. Yeah, I'm from down there, and I made a documentary film called Village Life and Friendship in Carrington's Village. And for me to do something like that, just like Movelle, it is so rewarding to capture in a book, on film, reality, and you're putting it down in history for other generations to read or to watch, and it's a pleasure to do so.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine the fulfillment you feel when you see the finished product and people enjoying it. Yeah.
And final question, how great is it for both of you here, knowing that the new President of Barbados is the guest of honor? Tell me about how that feels, that you're going to be rubbing shoulders with the President.
Well, it's quite an honor because it will be the first, because I haven't been back to Barbados since it became a republic. So this will be my first time kind of seeing her as president. So that'll be quite good, yeah.
And yourself, sir, describe that feeling knowing the President is going to be in the house in a few moments.
Well, obviously, it's quite an honor to be in such an esteemed company, and she has had a fantastic career, and she has set high standards for all Barbadians to emulate. And to that extent, I'm honored and privileged to be here this evening.
And you know something, for me, in preparation for today, I had to do my research and look at the great things the President has done as her career. And I'm shocked at the greatness she has managed to achieve, and all of those boards, and being a lawyer and doing so many great things, appeal court. She's done everything.
Yeah, I couldn't repeat her accolades now, but I know she did a lot of firsts, as in firsts for women, and as a Bajan woman, I'm quite proud of that. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and enjoy yourselves. And I'm going to attempt to catch up with you both later on this evening, but thank you very much. So there's a couple of people who are down here currently awaiting the arrival of the President, who is currently stuck in traffic. And those of you who know me will know that I'm not quiet, I like to chat. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to capture a few more people who would like to chat. And first I'm going to call the sound man. Mr. Soundman, step forward, step forward. And I know you're not quiet. So this is the sound man. And I met this great man at a funeral sometime last year. And I'm meeting up with him for the first time today. So good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, and how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. If you look in the camera, you are used to events down here at the Barbados High Commission, if I recall you telling me.
Yes, I usually do a lot of their events, like this, or if they have any functions, book launches, anything like that. I always like to get involved and help out, my family in the community, really.
And how important is it to help out places like this and give something back? How important is that?
Well, it's really nice to actually do that. And while I'm doing this, I'm trying to send a link to my brother also, so that they can actually see what's going on and stuff like that. They're all in Barbados, and and I send and I'll just send a link to them.
So look into the camera and talk to them. Yeah. Talk to them. Say something to them.
They're all now in Barbados, and they're
whereabouts?
Now I'm Christchurch, Maxwell Hill. Just the bottom of Kendall Hill, where my family was actually born and raised up in that area. I have my sister Margaret, my brother Jeffrey, and my cousins, and nieces and nephews. I have loads of them. I ain't seen them for a while now because of all the COVID and everything. Everything was actually shut down, so I haven't had a chance to see them. But I can't wait to get back to Barbados to see it, enjoy the nice fresh breeze, the water, oysters, the usual things is do when you go home, missing the sunshine really, really bad at this point in time.
But you know something, you're making me jealous, talk about all of that, but before I tell you why, I've also got family in Christchurch, down in Rendezvous. So everyone knows my family down there. So anyone who knows Cecile Griffith, you know Cecile? Cecile Griffith is a member of my family. So big up Cecile. So
big up Cecile.
So you've spoken about oysters, the sea. Tell me about how sweet oysters is on a Friday and Saturday night.
Well, if you all know oysters, I grew up around that area. Before we used to come up to Miami Beach when we was a lot younger, have play around because it's all nice and level and sweet there. And on top of that, oysters have been developed now a lot, and it's looking really nice. It's really like one of our big tourist attractions also. But once you go oysters, you can't actually forget it. The smell of the fish and all of the different types of foods, the breadfruit, roast breadfruit, fried breadfruit,
You're making me hungry.
I know that. I'm making myself hungry.
How about the macaroni pie?
Oh, yes. You can't forget the macaroni. You can't forget the macaroni pie. The last time I'd been home, and it wasn't oysters, I had a good lump of mashed breadfruit. And I had that there for a long time. So that was nice. But, hanging out and chilling out with my brother, my sister, and all of my intermediate family, it was really nice. Even though sometimes they think that I'm crazy, because they say that when you go to England and you come back from England, you're crazy. That's one of the things that they usually say. But Barbados in the whole, very nice, warm, loving place, as anybody can tell you. And that's what I love about it. It's my home, and it would always be my little rock, now and forever. Even though people see me and say, "Wait, how long you was in England?" And I says, "Well, in England now, a good few years, more than 25 years." And they say, "Well, you sound like if you just come," but that's me, and that's my actual country language, and I would always be speaking Bajan. Don't care where I go, where I am, you would know that I'm a Bajan.
But you know something? I'm a Bajan. Let me talk posh now. Yeah? I arrived in this great country in 1973. Excuse me, and I completely lost my dialect. I not talk nothing of Bajan anymore. But one thing I really do love living here in England is when I hear English people pronounce Barbados, it's the way they say it. It is so different. Barbados. And you know something? There is, to describe how Barbados is viewed in this country, it is so great that so many people love it, and it's their ideal location to go to. Everyone wants to eventually go to Barbados, and for me, that is so great.
Yes, it is. It's very, very great. When you're there, you feel relaxed. You don't hustle, as they say. If we go any slower, people would think that we are dead. But in Barbados, it's very laid back. Sometimes, we are too laid back.
I'm laughing.
But that's us, and you know, I don't think that we're going to change anytime soon in the future. But I'm here at this wonderful occasion, you know, very proud to do my part, you know, to be sending this broadcast all over the world, and it's nice to know that Barbados is really making a comeback after all of the COVID and everything. You know, we're going to make it back, but I'm looking to be going home, if not this year, early next year. So bro, sis, and all the rest of the family, you can look out for me coming down.
And when you do go, I hope there's sufficient space in your suitcase to fit StreetMic.
Nah, I don't think there'll be enough space because there's a lot of little niceties that you like to take them with you. You know, even though that
So I'm not one of them niceties, no?
Nah, well, yeah, you're a nicety, but not for my suitcase.
Anyway, sir, thank you very much. I'm going to try and catch a few more interviews.
Bro, sis, family, love it.
Excellent stuff. So that's the great thing. I was born in Barbados myself. I come here in 1973, and, you know, I've been here ever since, and it's my intention to retire back to Barbados next year. It's my intention. And I got a nice piece of land down in St. Philip, and, you know, it is really great, and the place where I will be living is Mangrove. So if you know Mangrove, that's where StreetMic is going to be living. And, you know, as I look around, I'm going to try and capture a couple of more interviews whilst we await the President of Barbados. And there's lots of questions which I would like to ask her tonight. But, you know, those of you who know my stuff on social media will know that I'm a political animal, and I challenge political people. But as a president, there are certain protocols which one must follow. Therefore, it would be inappropriate to be my usual StreetMic self today, you know, on asking questions of the president. But what is really great for me is that I know very few people have had the opportunity to do what StreetMic is doing here at the Barbados High Commission today. So the president hasn't given many interviews. So what I'm doing is very unique today, and we should have started at 6 o'clock, but I'm told the president is stuck in traffic, London, because it's a holiday season from tomorrow, and a lot of people are heading out of London. So, and also it's the Queen's Jubilee from tomorrow, and London is going to be rammed. And if you are in London, come to Buckingham Palace tomorrow, come down to the Mall. You're going to see a lot of excellent activities tomorrow. StreetMic is going to be live in the Mall tomorrow, and just click on me, you can see what's going on. For the 4 days, you will see everything that is going on in London for the Queen's Jubilee. And who could imagine that the Queen has been on the throne for so many years, and she's done a good job. It's not for me to criticize the royal family. They've done a great job, and it is, you know, it's really amazing what I have seen. I've seen the Queen on many occasions myself. Only 2 weeks ago here in London we had the state opening of Parliament, and that is where the Queen could not attend, but Prince Charles, Camilla deputised on her behalf. And also we saw Prince William and his beautiful wife was there. So I've seen the royal family, and we will see lots of royalty from tomorrow onwards around London. So if you do, tune into StreetMic and you're going to see a lot more. Good afternoon in the YouTube chat to Ogham the Bold, Mangola Raj, I'm Just Me, Milo. Big up StreetMic, big up. So I can see you in the chat on YouTube. I'm not going to be engaging with you today, sorry. That's for another occasion, but I've mentioned your name in the chat on YouTube, and I can see how many of you are actually engaging on the chat. But the President is currently running late. She's stuck in traffic, and the event should have begun at 6 p.m. and we will catch up with the President very soon. That's it. I can't see the flowers. So that is so excellent. So good afternoon or good evening. What is your name?
I'm Jade Jordan.
So Jade, tell me about this beautiful bouquet of flowers. Is it for me?
Unfortunately not. It's for the President, Her Excellency. Yeah. They were just given to me, so I don't know much about them.
Tell me, how do you feel knowing that in a few moments you are going to be presenting such a beautiful bouquet to Her Excellency, the President of Barbados? How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's pretty surreal, to be honest. I have met her before. Yeah, it was at church one Sunday when she came, when I was back in Barbados, St. Catherine's Church, so I met her there. But I didn't look very nice. But I look a lot nicer now, so that makes me feel better.
So you are from Barbados, and were you born there or you...
Yeah, I was born there. I moved here when I was 7. I've been here ever since.
So tell me about your fondest memories of living in Barbados.
Of living there? Oddly, I have one memory of when I was probably about 5. I think it was Hurricane Ivan, because it was one of the worst ones and the electricity was off, there was no water. But I remember we were playing Boggle, but obviously I was only 5, so I was making 3-letter words, which my parents allowed. And although that could have been very scary, obviously a massive hurricane, it was just me and my parents, and it was actually just there with like the little flashlight. And actually that was pretty nice. Yeah. And
any other great memories about being in Barbados yourself, like going to school, getting some good licks from the teacher? Any?
I don't remember. I remember getting lashes once when I was in reception, and we were supposed to be picking out the rhyming words in nursery rhymes. And I remember it was Jack and Jill, and we all kept saying Jack and Jill, and she was like, no, and then we were like, Jack and Jill. But other than that, I didn't get much lashes. I was quite good at school. It's quite good.
Can I say thank you very much? And for me, it's a pleasure to be here as well. And it is going to be a great event. And, I've met Movelle for the first time today, but we've communicated previously, and I feel privileged to be here today.
Yeah, she's amazing. My amazing gran. Yeah, and it's just amazing that she's written those books in lockdown when, we were trying to find things to do to be productive. And I think she did something very productive writing 2 books. So I'm very proud.
But are you going to be following suit in the future, like your grandma?
I don't know if writing is for me.
I think she might. Is she here? Is she there? Oh, still waiting.
No, yeah. I don't know if that's for me. I'm a scientist by background. I don't like the lab, but still, I like the theory, so I don't know. Maybe a non-fiction book.
But thank you very much, and I can't wait to see when you make your presentation, but thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank
Cheers. Thanks a lot. Hold on, not yet. Put the microphones back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've just received word, and the President will be here within the next 5 to 10 minutes. Okay? Good. Once again, we apologize.
Don't be scared, don't be scared. So you say you're the deputy commissioner. If you move back a bit, move back a bit. I've got your microphone on. Let me double check. So your microphone is on. So if you look in there, sir. Mm-hmm. So good afternoon. What is your name and title?
My name is Charles Morris. I am the Deputy High Commissioner for Barbados in the United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask you the obvious question. What is a Deputy High Commissioner?
Well, I'm mainly responsible for diaspora affairs. Mm-hmm. All the coordinating matters between the diaspora and the Barbados High Commission, looking after the concerns of the Barbadians in the diaspora. And to be quite honest, we've been having quite a few concerns recently, but we are working in the interests of Barbadians here.
And that is so great. But I must ask you another easy question. Like, you know, I like to ask easy questions. Yeah. It was yourself who I met, and I gave you my business card, and you then decided to invite StreetMic to live stream this event. Why did you make that approach to me?
Actually, when it was at the Barbados Overseas Nurses Association service, and even before I left, we saw clippings of the service itself, and to be quite honest with the production was so clean, crystal clear, and everything. You know, sometimes you see videos, something being streamed, and there's a lot of jumping and nothing. So it was extremely clean and clear. And you know, I asked you, and you agreed. And I must thank you for offering those services. I wouldn't tell the people how much it costs. Should I?
Up to you. Tell them.
Okay, you came and you said, yes, you would do it free of cost because you would do anything to help Barbados and Barbadians. And the truth is, I want to thank you for that as well.
And do you know something? I find myself in a fortunate, privileged position, what I do this and other things I do. And when possible, it's important to give something back to the community through charity or give something back to your country. And for me today, it's like giving something back to your country. And I'm so proud. This is one of my proudest days because I do a lot of things, man. If you look at my social media, there ain't nothing I don't do in London. I'm one of the best known live streamers. But something like this, it's unique for me, and I love it.
Well, that is the culture of Barbados. You know. Barbadians traditionally are persons who give back. You will see a number of people giving back to their schools, giving back to their churches, giving back to organizations in the community. That is the culture of Barbados. And we appreciate what you have done, and we really thank you for it. I would hope that in November, when we are having our independence service, that you'll be there to do it for us.
Well, I've already put you in my diary, so you got in there early, so bing, StreetMic will be there.
So all Barbadians can watch the independence service.
Aye, big up.
In November. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And I'll allow you to go and meet the President, and I look forward to her arriving.
She will be here shortly.
Thank you very much. So that's Charles, who's the Deputy High Commissioner here in London. Let me turn his microphone off. He's currently to someone else. I've now turned it off. But, you know, he invited me to do this event here today because he liked the quality of the stream. And I believe the President may be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please sit. We will now have a presentation to Her Excellency by Jade Jordan. We will now be addressed by His Excellency, Mr. Milton Innes, High Commissioner for Barbados in the United Kingdom.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to warmly welcome you to Barbados House this evening, and I wish to especially welcome Her Excellency on her first visit to Barbados House since becoming President of Barbados. Welcome, ma'am. I also wish to warmly welcome Ms. Movelle Jordan to Barbados House on the occasion of the launch of her book in the UK, and it is a great honour for the High Commission to host you. Cultural diplomacy remains extremely important to Barbados, and the High Commission remains committed to hosting events for our creative sector. We look forward to hearing about your journey in writing your book. It only remains for me, therefore, to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for offering your support to our author, Ms. Movelle Jordan, and I hope that you have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
Excellencies, over the past few years, the Diaspora Unit of the Barbados High Commission in London has received many calls from persons in the diaspora indicating an interest in identifying themselves as Barbados. They express an interest in learning about Barbados. In fact, we have had increased calls for Barbadian citizenship because they want to be part of the Barbadian culture. And therefore, Ms. Betty Lewis and I have engaged the young people, young and old, throughout the diaspora, and we are attempting to do so at every level through various media. Last year, we sponsored a season of emancipation with lectures from the University of the West Indies. We have also had discussions with young professionals in the diaspora. Today, next Tuesday, and on the 13th of July, in order for persons to be enjoined in the culture of Barbados, we have book launches. Excellencies, there are many ways to transmit culture, the culture of a people. We can choose from acculturation, interculturation, assimilation, innovation, integration, retention, and erasure. But there's one method that is so often omitted, a method that used to be a part of the Barbadian cultural transmission, but has somehow become less emphatic. And I'm speaking of storytelling. Storytelling and the storyteller have shaped societies. You see, the story of one person tells the struggles of others. And we have today decided to launch these two books by Movelle Jordan because in them you discover a very rich part of Barbadian cultural history framed in the parish of St. Philip, or the Republic of St. Philip, coming second only to the Kingdom of St. Peter. Excellencies, on reading these books, you will discover real culture. I know that you know that I'm very reserved, very laid back sometimes, and not one prone to speaking too much. But when I read these books, I see myself in them, and I'm sure that all of you who read these books and knowing about Barbadian culture would know that you will see yourselves in them too. We commend this book to you, or these books to you this evening, because they're an important part of our history, our culture. And this afternoon, I present to you later the books written by Movelle Jordan, and you will hear extracts from them as well. The books are called the Queen of Culpepper, and them come a-calling. And I will ask Ms. Laurel Hunt to read an extract from the Queen of Culpepper. You know, okay. Well, I think they attended to other matters downstairs, so we will have an extract from Them Come A-Calling by Shaquille Newton. I must say that I feel very proud to have Shaquille here with me this evening. And he would probably tell you why.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. An extract from Them Come A-Calling entitled Vonnie. Vonnie and Rebecca were real buddies from primary school. They did everything together, swapped and changed school clothes, wore each other's shoes, everything they would share, everything. If Vonnie had 10 cents, she would give Rebecca 5, and vice versa. They both attended the same secondary school, and though they were not book smart, what they were lacking in academics, they tripled up on in street smarts. They were both smart women when it came to taking care of the ways of life, according to both. After leaving school without a certificate to their names, they did all sorts of odd jobs here and there. Sometimes they would pile canes, kill chicken, pick cotton when in season, clean houses when given the opportunity, or sell fish. Any and every little job they could find, they did it. Because according to Body, nobody ain't knocking she both in the 6 cents. So that kind of independence was formed between those two from day one. Rebecca used to spend every bit of her free time over at Vonnie's aunt's house, where Vonnie lived with her Aunt Izza. Izza was married to the village drunk, Duncan. Almost every evening, Duncan would come home and give Izza a good cussing, never without involving her sister Rita, who was Vonnie's mother. Sometimes he would say things like, "Why she don't send for she child from down by me before she start bringing man in here?" That is when Izza would start up, telling Duncan in no uncertain terms what she thought about him. "When you get money to build house, you spend 2 mornings in Canada on contract picking fruit and then work saints. You should thank God for the little government pension that ain't help to nobody but Miss Barker run shop." She said, "If I didn't a church woman, I would have kicked your ass out long time." Vonnie hated and could not wait for Auntie Izza to kick his ass out so that Rebecca could come over and live with her. Vonnie always thought of herself the smarter of the two, and even Rebecca thought so too, because it was Vonnie who took her to join the credit union, which helped her to build her little 2-bedroom house for her and her 2 children. It was also Vonnie who took her to the lumber yard, did a little negotiation, and got her some building materials at a special price, because she had a friend working there who, according to her, got her his discount. The year before, the sugarcane crop was very good, and every day they would make their way up to the plantation yard, where they would get on the back of the pickup truck, travel to different cave fields where the men were harvesting canes, and they would pile canes from sunup to sundown. They made quite a few dollars then, and it was when Vonnie took Rebecca into Bridgetown to join the credit union. From that day onwards, some of every little bit of money those two got went into the credit union. Vonnie was a very attractive woman and never lacked for male company. That was one of the reasons she had left and went to America. Every woman in the village had it in for Vonnie. They would often accuse her of trying to steal their man. They would drop talk and go out of their way to say nasty things about her, but the men just loved her company. And it was not all about sex. Vonnie fancied herself a counselor, and some sorts, and very wise in the ways of men. She even told Rebecca, had it not for her, a lot of them men wouldn't know what to do. One day, Vonnie met this American man who came over to Barbados for, according to him, some R&R. She was on her way to the credit union to put some money away for Rebecca and herself. Rebecca could not make the trip to town with her because the two children were at home from school because of this damn lockdown. And Rebecca never left her children with anyone but Vonnie. Rebecca was being very cautious about this new virus going around. Her worst fear was for her children to catch it. Know that the children were attending school every other week in small numbers. She was not able to do very much with them now at home. So often our work was slow in coming in. So she had to take care of every penny as best as she could. They had 4 good days a week before cleaning out some rooms at a hotel where visitors were being quarantined on entering the island, and the pay was very good. So Vonnie was on her way to the credit union to put away some on both of their accounts. Vonnie dressed to the nines that day in a white, off-the-shoulder dress with splashes of green, yellow, blue, and red, and a matching face. The white material of the dress highlighted the beauty of the darkness of her skin. She always wore her hair natural, and today had it bunched up in a bun on top of her head, with a red scrunchie keeping it in place. Her sweep made the dark beauty of her facial structure very pronounced, and she was indeed very attractive. On her feet, she wore a pair of golden strappy sandals that drew attention to a pair of legs, and what was most outstanding about her backside. According to the men in the village, it was like a black ant. Her backside drew much attention wherever she went. She knew her assets, and she flaunted them, and today was no exception. Vonnie stopped at the pedestrian crossing, where there were about 7 or 8 people waiting to cross. She knew she was drawing some attention, as it was hard for someone to ignore such a striking figure, and she was indeed striking, at least to the handsome American man waiting across the street. He could just not take his eyes off her. His whole body went into overdrive just by looking at her. It was love, lust, and a whole set of emotions and feelings that were foreign to him. He swore his heart was going to burst through his chest, and he was sure the man standing to his left could hear his heart beating. He was not even aware that the signal for the pedestrian crossing had come on until that striking figure stepped down in front of him, and then his heart dropped from his chest. What a backside, and moving with such rhythm as though to the beat of some unheard melody. He broke out in cold sweat, or was it a heat stroke? He wasn't sure what was happening to him, but he had to say something to this woman. He just could not contain himself. These feelings were strong, and then a wave of excitement came over him. His name was Maquio de Romeo. Thank you.
I'm sure you will agree with me that at the heart of any aspect of Barbadian culture would be the shrewdness of the females. I'm sure you would agree with me on that. And having studied history myself, you would see it at work on the slave plantation. And I've always believed that had it not been for the women, slavery would not have ended the time it ended. So I would understand the shrewdness of the men in the works done by Miss Jordan. And let me say that women always know how to deal with adversity. These books were written at a time when Barbados was facing the challenges from the coronavirus. It was also done at a time when the volcanic ash had overtaken Barbados. And Movelle used that time of adversity to produce these two books on Barbadian culture. Now we have an excerpt from The Queen of Culpepper to be read by Laurel Hunt. And now is this a change of plans? Who's reading? Oh. From the Come Calling. This is Tamara Jordan. Good. Come, Tamara.
Thank you. Good evening, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm reading another extract from further in the book that Shaquille just read from. So, the one friend Clayton had in the village was Alfred. So when Rebecca brought home the thing for Alfred, he didn't waste time in telling Clayton how much of a performance he was putting down these days. So Clayton asked Alfred if he could get him some to try. He was doing so much these days that he could do with the extra help. After Alfred made him promise that he wouldn't tell anyone about it or where he got it from, because he didn't want it to reach back to Rebecca's ears, he gave Clayton some of the thing. Clayton was a bragger, and the one thing he always bragged about was his steering powers and how much of a ladies' man he was. That was how he come by these aliases, Ready Set and Dr. Ram. But it was all one big lie. Clayton was failing from a long time ago. And the past few months, he was avoiding the few ladies in the village who had helped him build up his reputation as a ladies' man. He knew he could not continue to avoid them for too long, because when things got good with him again, he would not have a friend left. Alfred was his main source of getting this thing. If she could come and build a little step at the back door for her. And he always promised, but he home and he was blowing drunk. So he stopped by Rebecca to give her a good cussing. He told her that Clayton told everyone in the rum shop that for her because she chased Alfred out of the house, and Alfred is his friend, and he wasn't doing any small jobs. He looking for big jobs, so she would need to pay him big money. After that, Rebecca really had no good thoughts for Clayton, but then she thought business was business, and Clayton didn't have a clue that it was a business for Rebecca. He thought she was doing him a favor. He told her how much he appreciated it. He asked her not to let anyone know about their transactions and assured her that he would come at the weekend and build the steps for her. So Rebecca got her steps built free of cost. Clayton would have his secret for him. Nonetheless, Rebecca knew the importance of keeping the customers happy in this business. She knew discretion was key, but she had no intention of giving him that assurance. Not to mention, she wanted some more work done around the house soon, so she figured the best way she could keep Clayton was where she had him, at her beck and call. Now, Clayton was one of her best customers, so whatever little there was to be sold, it was going between Clayton and Pastor Nigel Moore. Know that he went, but he had run out of the thing. And that is when he ran into Pastor Nigel Moore that night. He had just gone to collect his thing. Pastor Nigel Moore on Rebecca's doorstep that time of evening. But Chantal had told him she saw him coming out of Rebecca's house before, and how she heard that Pastor Nigel Moore was in sheep's clothing, or in this case, a wolf in the cloth. Is Pastor Nigel Moore going to buy the same thing as him? Even so, why would he be buying the thing? Is the goodly pastor having problems? The last time Clayton stepped foot in church was almost 4 years ago, and he believed that everything Pastor Nigel Moore said that Sunday was directed to him, so he never went back. That Sunday, Pastor Moore came down, thumping his Bible in the palm of his hand, and looked him straight in the eyes. He talked about Judas Iscariot, about Barabbas, about the foolish man building his house upon the sand. The last thing he recalled was Pastor Nigel Moore looking him in his eyes and saying, "Thou hypocrite, remove the beam from your eye. Then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye." He was afraid of Pastor Nigel Moore. He was afraid of God. And as far as he was concerned, he sold that Sunday, and he wasn't going back. He always made sure their paths never crossed. He'd make sure to stay clear out of the goodly pastor's way. So that night, when he was leaving Rebecca's house and saw Pastor Nigel Moore come a-calling, he was overcome with that feeling of fear again, the same one he experienced that Sunday morning. Thank God he had built those steps for Rebecca. When he saw the good pastor standing there as possible, and without something solid to plant his feet on, he would have fallen down right there in front of the pastor. Then there was that biblical quote he let loose on him before he could get away. "I would lift up my eyes onto the hills from whence cometh my help." Clayton was thinking about that all along. Had Rebecca a secret that he was coming to her for help? The pastor was having problems fulfilling his marital duties and was seeking the same help as him. If Pastor Nigel Moore has experienced these manly problems, surely that makes him human, and he should be less afraid of him. After all, their problems were the same. But if he was going to hear Rebecca's sinful confessions and try to save her soul, then Clayton was in big trouble. So he had to find out to put his mind at rest.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I want to establish one thing with you. The Pastor Nigel Moore in that book is not a pseudonym for me. Not me. You know, storytelling is always a tradition in Barbados. And very often it was used to presentation. Now, if something happened, if you had or get a good talking to, because that's how the stories used to come out. If you had to get a good talking to, you had to pretend that you were hearing it. Person got hurt, and when the accident or whatever it is took place. So the point is that you had a full story. And sometimes we tell stories and we go and we talk. Ago in St. Philip, because in those days, St. Catherine's Church in St. Philip could not exist without a priest from St. Peter. So I met her then, and ever since then we became friends. And I would say, I can tell you, as a matter of fact, let me put it this way. Her culinary habits satiate our delectation and guzzlement so that we crave for more. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Miss Movelle Jordan.
Your Excellency, the Most Honorable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados, His Excellency Milton Innes, High Commissioner to the UK, Reverend Charles Morris, Deputy High Commissioner, and Mrs. Morris, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. As you can see, I have no script, so this is coming straight from the heart. I feel so humble staying here. Such esteemed company. I can't believe that a little barefooted girl like me from Marleyville would ever be sitting here in such esteemed company. For that, I'm grateful to God. It gives me great pleasure in this room and see so much of you from the best and that gives me great pleasure. Really heartfelt, emotional to see at 64 years old his wife and my granddaughter, and I am staying here feeling so proud and nervous, and I can try to say a few words, driving force behind the publication of my books. You were the encouragement so much. Jason, I want to tell you, without your encouragement, I didn't believe I could have gotten it done. And then with the encouragement, and I must say constant, from Her Excellency, she's beginning to make me think that I'm all that in writing. And ma'am, I'm grateful for that. And I thank you so much for all the support and encouragement from me. Mr. High Commissioner, I want to thank you, the Deputy, and the staff of the Commission for welcoming me here today. And I want to say thank you all very much. To all the Philippines and the invited guests here today, I feel so blessed. I'm so grateful that you all travel all these miles to come and see me. But I know deep inside, it wasn't only me. You came to see your beloved president from your neck of the woods, and I won't hold it against you because I love seeing her too. To the Mr. over there, Wendell, I want to say thanks. Wendell is streaming this live for us because he too wanted to be part of this because he wanted to be here with the president and the High Commissioner. So he said he will do this for Philippines. He's from Carrington Village. I want to say a really special thank you for the Deputy High Commissioner for his invitation here, and to his lovely staff, Betty, and those who I'm just beginning to learn their names, for making me feel so welcome and for helping the Commissioner and the Deputy Commissioner hold this event. I just want to say I am grateful, and I want to thank you all for coming this evening. Thank you all very much.
We now have one more excerpt to be read from the book, and be read by Laurel Hunt. Sorry, Laurel Hunt, just in case you all thought I would say it too softly.
Your Excellency, President of Barbados, His Excellency Milton Innes, High Commissioner, Deputy High Commissioner, Reverend Charles Morris, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'll be reading from Movelle's Pride, the Queen of Culpepper. And first, I will set the scene. I'll be reading from chapter 10, but I'll set the scene by reading 2 paragraphs from chapter 1. Queen Elizabeth was the head of England, and Errol Barrow was in charge of Barbados. That much we knew. And there was Culpepper Island, no inhabitants, no ruler. I wanted to be Queen of Culpepper. Growing up in Marley Vale, the last child of my mother's 11 children, I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to make my mother proud. I wanted to make her happy. I wanted her to have nice things. We were very poor, and every day you could see her struggling to make ends meet. Mother was an expert clothes presser, pressing being the Bajan colloquialism for ironing. So she would make a few extra dollars washing and ironing khaki pants for a few of the men in the village. It was said that when Violet, my mother's first name, put in a 4 seam in a pants, that when the pants mash up, it does still got in the seam. She was that good. Most housewives would make their own starch, and Mother would let us grate the cassava. There were 2 types of cassava. The one for making starch and cassava flour was called the poison cassava, and the one for cooking was called the cooking cassava. There were also 2 types of crocus bags, a fine bag and a coarse bag, with the coarse bags having bigger holes and of a coarse material, hence the name, and conversely, the fine bag had small holes and was of a softer material. We would grate the poison cassava in the wash tub, and Mother would add a bit of water to it and place it on the old ottoman. Then she would gather her enamel basin and the coarse bag and put it next to the wash tub before placing her dung basket on the floor. She would hold one end of the crocus bag under her arm, and I would hold the other end. I would always volunteer to help because I loved seeing the patterns that the bag made with the cassava. Then she would use an enamel bowl to pour the grated cassava onto the bag, holding it over the basin. No matter how many times we did this together, her words to me were always the same. Try and hold it tight. Don't let go. You twist that side and I can twist the next. It was like a dance we were performing and I loved it. I was the youngest, so she thought I should try and learn something about the place. So whenever she was doing the cassava, I was called upon to do the ringing. But as I said, I loved to see the patterns. As we twisted the bag with the grated cassava, the liquid would fall into the basin, and she would place the wrung out cassava in the dung basket, and I thought it was beautiful, like a fine piece of artwork. The cassava resembled giant swirls of vanilla ice cream, with the pattern from the coarse bag making diamond-like shapes all over it. When all that was finished, she would put the cassava in the dung basket out to dry, and she would then leave the liquid in the basin for a little while to coagulate. In a few days, there would be a basin of solid starch. It was a fascinating process, and when the cassava dried, some of the others would join in rubbing it between our hands to turn it into flour. That starch and cassava flour would be given out to some of the neighbors. I dreaded when Mother had an abundance of starch. I think we all did. That starch would be put in every piece of clothing to be ironed. And what we dreaded most was when she put it in our cloth panties. The puff-like panties for school would be stiff when starched and ironed. And I swear, they also had a foreseam. I had 2 cloth panties for church, a pink one and a yellow one. And if I wear the pink one this Sunday, next Sunday it will be the yellow, and so on. So every other Sunday, it would be pink or yellow, and those 2 church panties would be given extra starch so that they would be so stiff that the sides of them would flare off like a skirt. The bottom of the legs of these 2 church panties were trimmed with a thin strip of lace, and the lace will be real stiff and even had a sharp edge to it from the start. Walking to church and back with a starch and iron. Sorry. Walking to church and back with a starch and iron panty on and wearing a pair of black patent leather tight shoes was sheer torture. Sometimes there would be slight abrasions on my inner thighs, but never at the side legs because the sides were properly flared. One Monday morning, because of some discomfort, I took my panties off at school and had them in my uniform pocket. And my pockets were puff out big. My sister grabbed hold of me before I could answer and hand down in my pocket, and out came. What are you doing with your panty off? Put these back on now. You's an idiot or what, she said. He's got up between me foot sore, I said. Put these back on now, or when we get home, I can tell Mother. So I had to put them back on. No sooner did we land in the yard did she tell Mother. Mother, she took off she panty at school and had it in she pocket. What? Mother said. Go and bring that coconut broom here. And Mother grabbed hold of my uniform, and my sister ran and went for the coconut broom. And 4 hot lashes I got. You walking about the place without a panty on and all the air blowing up your parts. I never took those stiff starch and iron panties off again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Those are just a few excerpts from books written by Jordan. You know, as I'm sure that you can see the real culture in Barbados, what used to really happen in Barbados in those days. But there were stories, but they were true. And the thing is that we learned from them. And the idea was not to make the same mistake. Some children always made the same mistake over and over. But as we go on, I believe that the time will come when we will have an overflowing or a call for more stories, because somehow we're losing the script. And I believe that we need to spread our culture. We need not adapt someone else's culture, because in Barbados, I'm talking about Barbados alone, we have a richness of culture that other people crave. And I'm sure that most of you understood some of the terms that are used in these books. I'm sure you all do understand. I hope you buy the books, because there's another story in there, the one where she killed it was a turkey? The chicken. Oh, you read it too, High Commissioner. So you see, I'm telling the truth. She killed the chicken, or thought they killed the chicken, and thought they cut the chicken's neck. And I want to buy the book. The bill. Good. Her Ashley says, if you want to know more about the chicken, buy the book. So we look forward to you purchase the book, and at the same time to assist in spreading the Barbadian culture here in the United Kingdom. And now we're going to have some presentations. And the first one will be made to the High Commissioner. Yes, sir, you.
Sir, on behalf of me, my family,
presentation will be to the
Sir, I want to thank you for all you have done in arranging this beautiful setting here for me this evening. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Last but not least,
Movelle has a new friend, and she wants to get a special piece.
in Carrington Village. And thank you for being here with us and offering to do this for us, FOC, as we would say in Barbados. That really shows the appreciation and the love that we Barbadians show wherever we go for each other.
Could I maybe thank everyone for giving me this opportunity to be here today? It has been a wonderful experience for me. I get the opportunity to do so many great things as a live streamer all around London. I do many things on most days, but one thing that's really important for me is to, when I was asked if I would do this, I just jumped at the opportunity. Am I available on the 1st of June? Yes. Am I available at 6 o'clock? Yes. And for me, it's about giving my country to my people. And it is great to be able to do so. And it's not about money. I wasn't interested in nothing like that. It's just about giving something back. And to be here with so many great people, to be here with the President as well, for me, it's one of the most amazing things I've done. And all I can say is thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And it was brilliant. Thank you very much.
Movelle just told me she has a presentation to make to a special friend.
Apparently, this person don't think or don't know that they are my special friend. Miss Lauren, this is for you. She's waiting to see. Oh, this is for you. On behalf of me and my family. Thanks for having us.
Mr. High Commissioner, let me tell you that I'm glad that this has happened because I was number 2 in the House, and then Movelle came and he moved down to number 3. His wife came, down to number 4. The daughter is here, and I'm down to number 5. But at least I'm ahead of somebody now. Thank you so very much. We have a presentation to be made to Movelle herself on behalf of all the young people in the United Kingdom.
No, I'm surprised.
Come.
Madam President, High Commissioner Innes, Deputy High Commissioner, Mr. Jordan, Auntie Movelle. This is on second and third Barbadian generations to say thank you for what you've done, for your marking up with the support of your family to make something monumental with your books. I pray that God will continue to bless your hands. I pray that God will continue to bless your mind, and I look forward to many, many more. So on behalf
of that the third and the fourth generation of Barbados, a beautiful way, not only with flowers but with words, and I do appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of this part of the evening, and we want to thank you very much for coming here. As Movelle said, you really didn't come to hear me, you didn't come to hear her. All you came to do was to buy her books, but really you all wanted to hear somebody else. And by taking the time out to come to this session this afternoon, we know that the streets are very busy given the fact that this is the weekend for the celebration, it's the platinum celebration of Her Majesty. And this is the evening too when we have the Queen of Culpepper here. So thank you all very much. I want to thank especially we have 2 legal luminaries here that I know of. Miss I. Stephanie Boyce, who is the president of the British and Wales Law Society. Stephanie? And I must say, I think that she is the first black or first female? Both? Both? She's the first female and the first black president of the British and Wales Law Society. And she would want me to say to you that she's not just a Barbadian, she is a Bajan. Her brother is also the technical director for the Barbados football team. And we really appreciate all of the giving back that you've done. We also have Miss Jackie Devonish, who is now assisting us in Barbados with an act. And we want to thank you, Jackie, for your work that you are putting and that you will put in, and for being here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, you wouldn't hear from me again, but I'm sure there are many of you waiting. Madam President, your people.
Good evening, everyone. Now, I should tell you that when I became Governor General back in 2018, I was handed a brochure, and in that brochure was certain procedure and protocols. One of the protocols was that I don't give speeches. However, I have been quite faithful to that protocol, but as you would know, as Bajans and semi-Bajans and want-to-be Bajans and forever Bajans, we tend to step aside and break protocols and break rules. And there are always certain occasions that you cannot get away from breaking a rule. And this is one of them. This is one of them. That is the reason why I followed Movelle to London. Well, she talked to you about all the support and everything that I gave her. But she is one of the few people, I tell you, that I admire in Barbados. And there are a lot of people, oh, this person is my hero, I admire this person. But Movelle is one I admire. I know Movelle and have known Movelle from the time she was born. She told you she is 64 years old. I am 73. And as a consequence, she was born sort of obliquely across from me in East Point. And because of the age difference, I would have to know her. We didn't really go to school together because, you know, in a school term, in a school year, in a school life rather, 9 years is a lot. When you are entering, somebody who's 9 years older than you would be leaving. Such would be the situation with Movelle. But I have known her all her life. She can't say the same thing for me though. And as a consequence, I have known everything about her. The good, the bad, and the otherwise. And I will not regale you with that this evening. However, the good that I will tell you though is that she is not ashamed from whence she came. And that is one of the problems with some of us. For you fourth generation Bajans, you would not know the word or the phrase poor great. But a lot of us in Barbados, we were born poor. We became great because we've always thought of ourselves as great. But poor great doesn't mean that. Poor great is a different thing. And for the ones who have family, you can find out what poor great is. But we were not great. We were poor great in the sense that we knew that we would reach the heights. And one of the other reasons why I admire Movelle is the fact of those two books. I don't care. I could never sit down to write the books that she's written. And you should all read them because although they're supposed to be stories, I will tell you, we lived in East Point and Marley Vale, and I can recognize the people that she's talking about in those books. You know, one of the sins, one of the deadly sins is envy. And being envious of St. Philip is not going to get anybody anywhere. And as Movelle alluded to, regardless of what you do, the wise men came from the East, and we cannot rewrite the Bible. I have the ability to sit sit and write the books that she has. There are stories in there that for some of you, you can ask your family if they recognize the people, but they're true stories. And I have said to her, while Them Come A-Calling is a story in itself that cannot be prolonged, she worried about Queen of Culpepper, because it came to an end that I told her I did not like, and there is so much more to be said. And there is, in fact, a Culpepper, for those of you who do not know. Because Culpepper is in the east, they did not do what they did with Pelican. They could not make St. Philip any bigger. And that is why we still have our island Culpepper in St. Philip. They joined Pelican into St. Michael and made it the deep water harbor and everything. But we still have our Culpepper. And every picture that I get of Culpepper, I give it to Movelle, because that is her kingdom. Anyway, it gives me real, serious, good pleasure. That's one of the reasons why I followed Movelle to London. The other is because it gives me the opportunity to meet and greet, especially the ones from St. Philip, and the ones more especially from East Point and Marley Vale. Some of you might only know me because of my name, but some of you would know me probably as a young girl growing up. But it really gives me great pleasure to be here, to see all of you. The last time I was here would have been 2018. Yes, 2018, and I came. And because of COVID, I was unable, like Movelle said and has been said, you have to buy the books. And if I want to count the number of persons in here this evening, I expect each of you to go home with those 2 books. And if she doesn't have enough, you can order them. I am not her salesperson, but the books make really, really good reading, I tell you. And for those of you who don't know about village life in Barbados, it will give you an opportunity. And I know Reverend Morris spoke about one of our shortcomings, that we do not tell our stories. And as I go around meeting centenarians, that is something that I always say, because they have so many stories to tell, and especially things like the, I'm going to stop now, I promise. And as we call it the riots, but the 1937 revolution that we had in Barbados. They are the ones to tell you the true stories. The historians give you the watered down version, but the centenarians, and a lot of them are very lucid and are able to interact, and they can tell you these stories. I had a visit the other day from Mr. Brereton. I don't know if you know him, but he is in full possession of all his faculties, and he was also able to give me a story about the 1937 uprising. And that is one of our misfortunes in Barbados, that we do not take advantage of our own people who tell us the stories and who know the true stories and not the watered down or the handed over versions. But again, thank you very much for having me, and it is a pleasure for me to be here. High Commissioner, thank you, and Deputy, and Natalie, and everybody else. Buy the books. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have some refreshments, and the books will be here shortly for you to purchase. Just let me say there's a group of persons from St. Philip, Madam, a group of persons from St. Philip. The organization, they have a little book called Love and Devotion, and they themselves have devoted themselves to giving back to Barbados. You will see them with their T-shirts. They want to make collections to give to the schools in Barbados, and they are from St. Philip. Thank you all very much.
For those of you who are watching, I would like to thank you very much. We did have a few live streaming issues, but that's beyond my control. But we do have the President of Barbados who is here, and in a few moments I will try and do my best to capture her eye and get a few interviews, but which has already been agreed, but I have to leave because we're about an hour late, so I have to try and get out of here by 9 o'clock.
Bring a chair and sit down.
Congratulations on your result.
Okay.
I'm done.
Because I couldn't remember.
Well, good. Very a good book.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks.
Sorry.
Can you get me one of my granddaughter? Please, I would like to push in front of you so I can go and then do the things that you don't want.
Testing 1, 2, 3. I'm now going to try to interview the President of Barbados. Craig! I'm going to try and get my interview now. No, that's so I can see round. So, I want me a second. Because I can see what I'm doing. Right, get the photograph as well from here. Get the photograph from here as well.
So on behalf of...
No, let me be honest with you. I hope the site that you are living in is not a site that you want to be, but a site that I am, meaning that I want to be able to wear it. So if that is not extra large, go and change it.
No, I think it's extra large. Yes.
And be honest, I wouldn't want to take this and put it in a corner somewhere. Right? You're sure it's extra large? And it's a real extra large.
See, that won't fit me. Well, it fits StreetMic.
It's a large. She's small.
No. See, like, go and get another one.
Let me see. I am not leaving here with it unless it can fit me.
Oh, look at that. Perfect.
Perfect. You can wear it to the beach.
I'd have to get my sister to. I hope I can. If it doesn't, I can go home and try it on and they can get it back. Okay, so tell me why you want me to wear this.
Well, I'll let my outspoken do talking.
Don't be scared.
The story behind it.
The story behind it is the school. Obviously, we were speaking to Reverend Morris, and he suggested to get some statements for the schools that are less fortunate. So we decided to join together and to just start doing it, making the pledge and going out there.
One of the things.
Having it, what are you going to do?
What we're going to do, we're going to get it sent. We've got barrels. Hopefully, we might have many barrels. And Reverend Collins is going to, we get in contact, and Reverend Collins is going to get the education people to pick it up, and it's going to be delivered to Barbados.
One of the things that we found back home. By the way, I'm Jamaican, but I might as well be a Barbados because I've grown up with we're all from St. Philip.
Almost sound like one.
Yeah. Right. And when Reverend Cliff asked us to come here, we came here and he sat us down. He said, "Well, what are you about?" And we basically told him, that giving back to things that are needed, and children back home, right, Jamaica, Trinidad, with yourself, are very, very deprived of spaces for learning. And because I work in a school, that's how I came on board and got passionate about that. And I went straight to my school and I spoke to my headmistress and I said, "Miss, all those phonics books that you say you're going to throw away, can you please donate them to me, because I'm the charity, I would like them to go to a good cause." She goes, "Okay, where's that?" I said, "Oh, I love the island back home called Barbados." She goes, "Oh, lovely." And that is a pledge, and I will get them and I'll send them over to you, and then hopefully the children will obviously appreciate it and help them in their further in their education. See, a lot of people play music, but see, we're different. Yeah, we're on a totally different style. And charities, another one we're very keen is that sickle cell as well, that we're passionate about. But first, this is more important. Children are our future. And once we get them going, then hopefully we should go.
Hey, when it comes to children, I'm very passionate. I spent 9 years at United Nations fighting for children.
Yes.
And therefore, and that's why when children are asking to come to visit the grounds of the town, I'd say, okay, I can visit the grounds. Because when they come into the talk with them, because it's such a story of
that's right, yes.
Because in most instances, there are children from the lower echelon society. And I grew up to let them know that I was doing things.
Yes.
I always tell the people who were doing things, I am non-government general, I became government general. And there's a significant difference between that they had to be a program and training. Right? But I want the children to know that you don't have to be born in a school and all that.
That's right.
That's in the school, or even a old one, still mouth, even like one or two. The doorway is education.
That's right.
Nobody goes in anything. It's up to you. No parents have to like anything. Our parents gave us an education, and it's up to us to go and get where we want to go. Our children have been important. That will always remind them that our own ladder not to have to go back. Even if the ladder is coming to you, and you don't know how to love, there's nobody having that. So, education. And no point looking at me and thinking, I was fortunate to be right place at the right time.
Right.
I am born and expected. This can't happen. Right? Therefore, anybody can be here. You don't have to be Mr. Bowen's son to get sometimes down hours. In our day, it's not hard.
Oh no. We came from it. It was hard. It was hard work, but we will get there. We will get there.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So I can take this and take it home.
On it.
You have a name and address and all that.
Yes.
Just in case it doesn't fit.
It's all there. So we're now going to be getting the opportunity to interview the President of Barbados, Dame Sandra Mason.
Are we not taking a picture?
And can I interview when you finish, please, Mark? Just a couple of questions.
No. You're not interviewing me. I don't do interviews. If you want to have a conversation.
Yeah, let's have a conversation.
And if you want to find out something from me.
Yes, of course.
That is not.
That is agreed. We can have a.
Yeah. Like you're not going to ask me.
I want to know what it's like to be the president.
Oh, what it's like to be the president?
Yes.
I want to find out too.
But take your pictures and then I can ask you.
But you can't ask me that question.
Can I ask you now?
No, you can't ask me what it's like to be the president. Because I wake up with me. Yeah, I wake up with me every morning. I don't know, you know, I'm not aware when I wake up that I'm the president. It's only as I go along during the day that I have certain duties to perform, and then I say to myself, oh yeah, I'm the president, you know. But I do not wake up being the president, so I cannot answer you what it is like to be the president.
I'll rephrase the question. What is it like waking up every day and knowing that you are the president of the best country on this planet?
So that part I can accept for you, but the other part, what's it like to me? I cannot answer. You know, I really don't know because I am me, and I have been me for 73 years, and I don't know what it's like to be the president. I know what it's like to be me, and you know that sort of thing. But seriously though, I became Governor General of Barbados in 2008. And you know, when asked to do it, I didn't know it. I kind of had an idea what the duty entailed. All right, and because what I'd done, I acted for 3 days in 2012, and during those 3 days, I did a number of things that at that time I wasn't aware were part of the duties of Governor General. I, like most persons, thought that it was purely ceremonial. And although I was reasonably young at the time when I took the I was 59, I thought, oh, it gave me an opportunity to do so many other things. But then when I settled down in the job, I realized it's a lot more. And I don't know, you might have heard the Prime Minister talk just very recently about me having done a whole lot of prejudice applications. What had happened on that occasion is that the government had passed legislation that persons who up to the 30th of September 2020 had been working in a particular post for 3 years had to be appointed in the post. But of course there were other instances where people had been acting a whole lot of it. So in that legislation there's something called a prejudice application. That constituted a windfall of persons who felt prejudiced by this legislation. And it meant that the Ministry of Public Service had to go and sift through all of the people who were acting. And I ended up with over 700 applications that I had to personally deal with. So, you know, that's part of the thing. What does it mean to be the
So you're a very busy person.
I am, and people think that I sit on Twitter and I find it amusing. But being president, it just allows me to continue doing what I had been doing as a Governor General in 2018, and it also allows me to continue to serve my country, which I had been doing from 1975 when I became an attorney at law. Because when I became an attorney at law in 1975, I recognized that I owed my country something. I had got so much from my country. I got a free education at school, and then I went on and had a free education to become an attorney at law. So there were a lot of people who were kind of not aware of their legal rights, so to speak. So I went to probably every nook and cranny of Barbados talking about the law, etc. And that is where my involvement started. And then I've been serving Barbados for 75 until now. I continue to serve. I will serve until I die.
And you know something? I did my research prior to today, and it's amazing the amount of great work you have done for the country and beyond.
I think that sounds, I don't
like that.
You don't like that? All right, then.
I don't like the idea that I have done great work for the country.
Or for the people?
No, and I don't want it to be called great work. No, I did my part.
You did your part.
And that's how I want it to be written, that I did my part.
I get it.
It might be infinitesimal compared to other persons, but I feel confident that I have helped in some small measure.
I get it. But 2 quick points. I know that other people want to speak to you. Tomorrow, I'm a live streamer here in London. Many people know me, and tomorrow, as you know, it's the Queen's Jubilee, and I will be in the Mall, Buckingham Palace. I'll be going all over London. Will you be going to any activities?
No, I did not come here for that. I came here for rest and relaxation. And I am also getting the opportunity. I bought me a Kindle and I've loaded on some books, and it's given me the opportunity to read unhindered, because nobody's going to call me and say, oh, could you do this, could you do that? So I can lie in bed as long as I want.
And relax.
So that's what I'm going to do.
That is so great. And my final point, I've made a documentary film in Barbados called Village Life and Friendship in Carrington's Village. And I hope you get the chance to watch it, because over 100,000 people so far.
Where would I see that?
It's on YouTube, Village Life and Friendship in Carrington's Village. Okay. It's also, and I've sent it to Movelle, and also it's on Facebook. I made it for you.
I'm not on Facebook.
But it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's a 3-part documentary, and I spent 3-4 weeks in Carrington's Village, engaging with people, going to the...
Were you born in Carrington Village?
Yes, I was. Do you know Beercroft Road?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, down Tweeside Road, just by Freddy's. That's where I was born. I was born Beercroft Road. I went to Carrington Village Primary School, but then I left there in 73 and come here. And when you guys talk about St. Philip, it's my intention. I got my land in St. Philip in Mangrove, so it's my intention.
I know how jealous I am.
So I know, but thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. It has been a privilege to stand next to the first president.
Don't say that. I don't like that.
You don't like? I'm sorry.
When people say that. You know, because it's almost unreal. I get it.
I don't. It's brilliant to be here with you. How's that? But thank you very much, and I can see lots of other people want to be speaking to you. Excellent. Thanks a lot. So, as we can see, I've just finished speaking with the President of Barbados, and I'm just the new President of Barbados. And for me, it has been a great opportunity to be invited here today to live stream this event. And I'm going to be closing down in a few moments, because I have to be elsewhere by 10 p.m. And during today we had a few connection problems, but I've got a beautiful, perfect video that can be viewed, and that will be available. But my name is Wendell Denner from StreetMic, and today we are coming to you live and direct from down here at the at the Barbados High Commission, and we have the new President of Barbados. And some people like to be known as the President. They like you're standing next to them, and they're so proud of the title that has been bestowed on them. But the great thing about the President of Barbados is that she's a humble, normal person, and all of these titles mean nothing to her. But I'm now closing down for now, because I have to be elsewhere. But all I can say is thank you very much for watching. My name is Wendell Denner from StreetMic, and we're coming to you live and direct from the streets, or from here at the High Commission in Barbados. And tomorrow we'll actually be on the streets of London, because we've got the Platinum Jubilee, and we will be on the streets down by Buckingham Palace, and you're going to see pomp and pageantry at its best. So tomorrow, the Mall, Buckingham Palace, you're going to see pomp and pageantry at its best. But all I'm saying is goodbye for now, because I have to be elsewhere. My name is Wendell Daniel from StreetMic, and thank you very much, and goodbye.